Good morning, everyone. It's Michele here from the Creative Cove. I'm recording this first thing in the morning, really early in the morning, actually. I'm still in my pajamas and I'm doing the voiceover and with my coffee, still in my pajamas before I go to work today. I wanted to get a couple of sketches in, kind of like my morning therapy for sketching. Wanted to make these little antique looking specimen cards. The specimen is drawn, so I think that's really fun. There's a white one that I did on just a white cardstock. This time I want to keep using up some file folders because I have a ridiculous amount of them. And I really like the color of them after they've been inked. And feel like they're a really good consistency of paper to use for ephemera. So I'm just starting with a ballpoint pen here and I'm putting in some sketches. And like I said, sketching for me is kind of therapeutic in the morning. For the most part, I have a good sketch day. Sometimes I can have a bad one where nothing works out. But in the mornings, I like to try and just start the day with a little sketch. And it kind of sets the day for me. It relaxes me. I am not a morning person. So for me to just take time, maybe 15 minutes of my morning wake up routine and do a little sketch really helps me in my mindset for the day. And I don't know if that seems weird for some of you. I don't do it every morning, of course. It's just not doable. So those are some sketches that I'm just using as a reference that I had done earlier on some index cards, and I thought I wasn't sure what to draw, so I just looked at one of my previous sketches and kind of got a little quick inspiration there. And so the sketches are relatively simple in the sense that they're not a lot of detail. They're quite flat, but they are nice to work on because, again, that stress of the details and it not being perfect is not there, so it doesn't upset me. You know, I'm not spending hours and concentrating really hard. I'm just doodling, literally just doodling and having fun. And like I said, it's therapy for me. So one of the things I do in this video is I ink it and I sand it. Now, I think it's Tim Holtz came out with these little mini sanders. So I haven't bought any, but I do have sandpaper, and I've used sandpaper before. But this time I was watching a channel called Crafting by Toni, and I'm new to her channel. I've really enjoyed some of her videos. She's got this great enthusiasm for her projects that she makes, so she's really fun to watch, and she makes some really beautiful things. And one of the things she does with the sandpaper, she folds the corners of her little piece that she's working on and sands them, and it makes it look even older. And I thought, well, what a great idea. So I do that to a few to these two today, and it really does kind of give it a jump on looking old, which I think is really cool. So I will link her channel below, or the video that I saw. Her use the sandpaper. I think it was a Halloween one, but yeah, her channel is really fun. You should check her out. So this is just, like I said, a little sketch, and soon we will ink it up. It's nothing super original to my channel, these sketches, but I do use a collection of stamps that I have recently purchased and I've been obsessing over from Tim Holtz, and I will link those below because I can't remember the number offhand. But they're really fun specimen stamps. They have these kind of antique looking labels and, of course, numbers that I've really been into lately. So this is kind of where I got the idea from, was instead of using an actual specimen, like a pressed or dried flower, before I had used the watercolor. So this time I thought, there's the stamps there. This time I thought I would just use a drawing for the specimen. Kind of simplify it even further. Just so much fun trying to use up these stamps and my file folders as much as possible. So I hope this gives you some ideas. You know, you don't have to have pressed flowers. You don't have to have fancy washi stickers. You can just doodle, or watercolor them yourself, just have fun with the idea. But the stamps here, to me, make the difference. I didn't have any stamps like this before, and I'm having so much fun with them. When you get something new, a new product or a new digital, or find something in the thrift shop that's new to you, it sparks the imagination. It's a new product and you're excited to use it, and your brain thinks in a different way. And this is how it's worked for me. These file folders and stamps have been my early morning obsession before work. So I just stamped these a few times, try to build up some textures. I don't want it to look too busy, but I want it to look like it's been passed through several departments, and classified and gone over and over, make sure it's accurate. This is another stamp that I've had this for years, and it's just kind of an illegible writing, and I just wanted to kind of fill in some of the negative space, some of the negative voids, without being too obtrusive on another stamp. So I take off the majority of the ink and I just throw it in a few spots. And it's very subtle, but it's effective enough to tone down those empty voids. So here I'm just going to go pretty heavy on some spots because I'm going to drop some water on it and kind of make it look like it's been abused on somebody's desk for a few years. And it's really cool, the effect that this ink has. I think this was the frayed burlap that I'm using, and I'm just dropping water droplets on there, and they kind of just saturate down and bleed, which is really neat. And I don't want it to be too wet, so I'm going to remove some because I do want to sand too. So I repeat the process with both papers. And I'm just going to thin out the edges of the paper with some sandpaper. And this is just from the hardware store. I had this kicking around in my studio from redoing furniture. And the more beaten up it looks, the more I like it. And this is the part that Toni does in her videos, where she just folds it and sands it. I'm like, that's genius. It just automatically antiques it, so you can see the difference. And so this time I decided to use the another ink. I can't remember the name. You might see it in the video. When I'm doing a voiceover, it's got this thing over top, so I can't see all the details. But it's a really nice color. And I'm doing this is an oxide, but it reacts pretty much the same with the water droplets. Just kind of bleeds them out and washes them out a bit. And I love that look. So you can just mass make these, one giant I can never say the word early in the morning, file folders. And that's it. I did a few of these. I hope you like this video. I hope it gives you some inspiration on, using the simplest of techniques when it comes to sketching to make something look really old. I mean, even if you don't have these fancy stamps, you can still ink or use watercolor to beat them up. So it's a great way to use up some scraps as well. So I hope you liked that video today, guys. I hope it gives you some inspiration. Thanks for bearing with me so early in the morning. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And thanks for joining me. Take care, everyone. Bye.